thanks for joining us. I'm Nate Kresge. I'm joined here with my wife, Alicia Mills. We're owners of Burn30 in Lemoyne. This will be our first venture into a podcast, so you'll have to bear with us a little bit, but we have some great guests that are going to carry things for us. So we brought in some all-stars here. I'm joined with Sara Bozich and Glenn Hamilton. I'll let you guys do a brief introduction for yourselves because you guys wear a lot of hats and it's tough to just pin you for one thing.
That's why I like other people to do it for me. Like, how do you know?
We only have a half an hour here. So.
Yes, guys.
Good point.
Okay. I'm Sara Bozich. I own a marketing company nearby and I work out at Burn30.
Yeah, Glenn Hamilton. I do mornings. I'm the program director at the River 97.3 for iHeartRadio, and I also work out at Burn30.
Look at that. There's a common thread. How about that? So, well, I'm just going to start throwing some softballs at you guys, but we can kind of dive in any direction you want to go here. Alicia and I were talking a little bit like, what are we going to talk to everybody about on this? But I think for me, I would just love to know what brought you to Burn30 in the first place.
I can tell you, I started exercising late in life. I'm 57 and a half. And at 55, I was like, you know what? I got to do something. I got to start. And I tried many times. I'd started and stopped. I'd join a gym, pay him for 6 months and not ever go, start to walk and never go. So anyway, I started going to the gym like 3 or 4 days a week. And I started walking and I started doing all that consistently. And then when I met you guys, that's when I learned about Burn30. And I saw Sara posting on her socials about Burn30. And I'm like, that looks really cool. And it looked different than what I was doing at the gym. Because I was really just working on strength training and cardio. I wasn't really working on movement, getting up off the floor.
Which is the hardest. Why is it the hardest to lie down and get back up again?
It is. Every time she gives me, okay, we're going to be on the mat. I'm like, oh, great. I'm not going to be able to get up. But actually now I can get up because I've been going to Burn30. So I supplement my workouts with Burn30.
I love
perfect.
that. Yeah. How about you, Sara?
Similarly, I really started, I don't know, I've always been sort of active. I've done things. But I wasn't really consistent until right before I got pregnant. I was actually in the first best shape of my life. I would say nowish maybe is the second, but first best shape of my life when I was pregnant, which was kind of wild. I worked out through month 8 and then I was like, I'm going to be that mom that does everything all the time. And no, that was not really what my post-birth experience was like. But I did then during COVID get back into where I had been going. And I got so into it that I was working out 4 times a week. And I started running on Fridays because I didn't know what to do with myself because I didn't have this training class. And then unfortunately my trainer moved out of state, gone. And I just had not found anything yet. And I was just walking the dog. And then, I heard about you guys buying Burn30 and talked to me about it. And I was in. I really like it because while I've done all these different kinds of movements throughout life, I really prefer to be told what to do. I can't go to the gym. I can't go to Gold's and be like, I'm just going to do my own little treadmill workout and weights. I'd get distracted, bored, lost, or I'd probably hurt myself.
Yeah, that's important too. We can injure ourselves, especially the older we get. And when I started working with a guy, my buddy Matt Seville, he's at Advanced Subs too, but I started working with him through the radio station, but then that ended and I kept my relationship going with him. So I work out with him once a week. And it's really for accountability, and he can push me on those days that we're working and he changes up my exercise. But that's what I love about going to Burn30 is because it's completely different. It changes up every 3 or 4 weeks, every 3 or 4 workouts. Allison has a whole new routine for me. And I'm
I love being surprised.
Me too. And I love being told what to do.
Yeah.
Ask
I
my
love
wife.
it and fear it every time I have a new workout because Becky likes to, she likes to try things out.
She does.
Me, and
you're the guinea pig.
And then she also knows what I don't like, so that usually shows up more often than not. So
I had something I had to do that was horrific, and I think I've blocked it out. But I made a comment to her like, this is really kind of mean. And she said, well, it's in line with your ability. And I'm like, I understand that that's a compliment, but I do not like it. But I do love that about her. Like that
she'll push it. And that's what I need. I know I need that because I would avoid things that I don't like doing. I know most of us do.
And you always feel good afterwards.
You do.
Always.
Never left there feeling worse than when I walked in.
Never sad that I went to Burn30.
And it goes by quick.
It does.
It does.
And also like mental health. There are times I am in the nastiest of moods in the morning because it's hard to life. And I do force myself to go because I know this is probably the thing that'll like knock it out of me. And I always leave there feeling better.
And that's the thing about exercise. It doesn't have to be Burn30. Glenn, I love how you use it to supplement what you're normally doing. I honestly do the same thing. Alicia and I have a tonal machine at home that we use that works really well for our busy schedules, but I need to go into Burn30 as well because of that accountability.
Yeah.
It's getting me to do things I wouldn't normally do. And that functional strength training is huge. That like you said, getting off the floor. The kids make fun of me every time I get down. My knees crack and I grunt. And
do you make noises yet? That's what I was going to say.
Sure, absolutely. And that's a part of, but I have so many of our clients come up to me. Now, Alicia and I aren't trainers, so they just like to share their story with whoever will listen, and be honest sometimes. And they'll say, hey, I could not get off the floor before. Now, look at me. Or I had a woman in her 70s. She loves to flex for me every time she comes in. It's the funniest thing, but it's
That's great.
She's
Heck
so
yeah.
proud of what she accomplishes there. And so we see that we're not a gym where you're coming in getting on the squat rack and trying to power lift somebody else in the gym. But what we are doing is teaching, functional training for life. So
Allison likes to laugh at me a lot too. She'll, when I get nervous about something or or complain, I'm like, oh, I'm getting down the floor. She gives that giggle. Oh, and then she starts singing with the songs on the radio. I'm like, okay. She keeps it light. Sorry.
She does.
Hit the microphone. I am a professional broadcaster. I talk with my hands a lot.
This might not be the setup you're used to. This is
you can edit that out. But she makes it fun. She helps me work through my oh God, I'm not going to be able to do this, to where, oh, okay, I can't believe I did it. This was actually fun.
Yeah. And I like the variety, like you guys had mentioned too, that things change up every month. For me, I get 2 workouts a week, and then every month those 2 workouts become 2 new workouts. And just when you start to get comfortable, guess what? You're back to learning something new. New muscles are feeling the pain.
Except it's somehow always the hamstrings.
Hammies.
Must be a goal of yours, though. Get those hammies strong.
I took that thing at Dr. Burek's, the crazy new weight thing, and she complimented me on my leg strength. Apparently, it's like above average.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah. So I guess I'll take the hamstring actually.
Yeah. No, don't ever skip leg day. I went on vacation. Well, I had about 2 or 3 weeks over the holidays that I stopped walking just because I got too busy. And then I missed 2 weeks of Burn30 over that time as well because of travel. And when I went back, oh my gosh, I was like, man, I can't ever take 2 or 3 weeks off again from the cardio type stuff.
Yeah.
It's just, I paid the price, but I'm back into it now.
Yeah. I mean, I give Alicia a lot of credit here because I would just do strength training, but mixing it up with running or just getting those steps in every day is huge. And she'll get us out walking after dinner, or
I just sit on a computer most of the day.
Yeah, but it's so helpful.
It feels so good.
Yeah, it clears my mind every time we do it.
We have good talks.
We do have great talks, and sometimes that's the only time we get to talk. So it's what I've been learning is that it's a balance, right? Everything in life, trying to get a mix of things in, and not just, for me personally, I burn out doing the same thing over and over again. I don't know what you guys were. You were with Ivan here in town, and I think he was pretty similar in mixing things up for you guys.
It was. I never knew what he was going to throw at us, and it was borderline scary. But we came to love it, and that was group fitness, which is different. In fact, I had always enjoyed group fitness before. I hadn't had a lot of personal training experience until Burn30. And the reason I liked the group thing was that like unspoken competition. Like I don't tell anybody I'm competing with them, but like inside my brain, that would help push me.
Yeah.
Sort of like the last challenge that we had at Burn30, where I got really mad that I didn't get beat 2 of the records that I feel like I could have once I saw that they beat mine. I was like, I could have done that.
Now you know. People
I was the fastest, though. I did get that. And I'd never done the bike before, so I changed. I'm learning some different things too.
I'm glad you changed.
You definitely have a competitive streak in you, Sarah.
I've learned a lot about myself as I've gotten older. I would have told you before, I'm not competitive.
Hey, I'm listening. I am. The women at Burn30 and just women in general with planks, I don't know how you guys hold these planks like you do.
Blows me away.
Yeah.
Blows me away.
So when I did the starter test, it seemed so, I thought, I knew I could do a minute, no problem. And I was like, I'm going to go for 2. And I was like, this feels really good. I'll just stay here for a while. And I think I got to 2:45 or something like that in the beginning of it. And so then the goal was 3:45 or something, but in my brain I knew it was 4. And I did get it. But it was so much harder.
Nice.
Weirdly enough, after the 8 weeks of training, around those movements,
you improve.
I just like that day did not feel the same way. First, I'm like, this seems really hard. I don't know why I thought I wanted to do this for this long.
I don't want to burst your bubble. There was a woman that just recently broke the planking world record.
Yeah,
I'm not going for the world.
It's insane. It was like 4 hours.
Yeah, that's craziness.
I saw that.
Anyway.
And Alicia, we're so proud of you for doing that. That was something.
Good job. Good job.
Yeah, and I honestly, I had the same thing, Sarah. Pull-ups were always my thing I could never do. And so I remember the first day actually getting my first pull-up at Burn30 and just that sense of accomplishment. And then I built up and I'm doing 5, blah, blah, blah. Becky had me in just this week doing pull-ups again. I got 2.
That's great, man.
But she's working on form with me. She's not letting me cheat. So I was hunching over. I was using my legs, and now she's like, "All right, training wheels are off. You got to do this properly." And it's humbling to start. You feel like you're starting from scratch again. But Alicia, do you want to share a little bit about you're a little different just because of work and everything, but the importance of exercising to you, you're the one that makes sure that you want to talk about competitive. If I didn't see her working out every day, getting up when she does, I don't know if I could do it.
It's I don't know. It's been a passion. I've always been active and did sports growing up, and saw my dad run often. He's a marathon runner, and it was just inspiring. So that is also my release mentally too. And I used to work out after work I was taking up too much of my time. Then 5:15, 5:30 in the morning, set the alarm, and I've transitioned from HIIT style workouts, cardio based, to more strength training with the steps, with probably a little bit of HIIT once or twice a week. Because again, I think, your heart's a muscle. You need to work it out. You don't want to neglect it. Strength training is awesome, especially for, I think, women in their 40s and, honestly, all ages. And I think the vibes I'm getting from a lot of fitness centers and a lot of, what's popular right now, I think we're all seeing the benefits of strength training. So I love that Burn30's been doing that for forever. And they're incorporating that in a way that, again, it's functional and it's meeting you where you need it in terms of are you a beginner? How long you've been doing this? Is there any injuries? Like you said, you just wanted to get a pull up, a push up, they're meeting you where you're at. So I just love that.
Well, and like you said too about injuries and paying attention to all of that. I have a freak shoulder. I injured it 20 years ago and never did anything about it. And for a time it used to slide out of socket semi-regularly. It's pretty gross. And so when I first came and had that first introduction with Becky, I told her about it, this is weird. And so I still every week asks, is that okay on the shoulder?
Wow, there you go.
But she's also built, so we figured out there's one move ever that bothered it. We don't do that one anymore. But aside from that, and I've been lucky that I can plank and everything with it. but I feel like too, she's built so much muscle around there that there's less risk of it happening.
That's amazing.
And so actually when I was there earlier this week, I was taking off my sweatshirt and it started to slide out again. And I was like, are you kidding me? But it actually didn't come all the way out and it didn't hurt. And then of course she's checking after, is that okay on the
Yeah.
floor? And I was like, she's
yeah,
great about that. And I was like, you know what? I'm good. And I've had, I didn't have any soreness later either. Now, I don't know that it cannot have actually healed the tear I have in my labrum,
Yeah.
but it makes it much less likely that I'll need surgery anytime soon because she helped me work on that, and we don't do
100%.
things that are going to make it worse.
I love that. Injury prevention. I think you're only, I mean, how many times you guys I've heard of so many of my friends that go to the gym, I've done it myself on tonal. I'm like, oh,
You
pulled
feel it,
something.
yeah.
And I'm like, if you have somebody always watching you or just somebody there, like obviously Becky and Allison are amazing and they're watching you and they can, you're not doing it. You're rounding your back or whatever it is. I think that's amazing for especially us older folks. I love that.
Our other trainer, Derek, I
Yes,
had worked out
Derek.
with him for the first time maybe 2 weeks ago. And man, he was so great at helping me with my breathing. And that's another thing that
I'm so bad at that.
And I just told Alicia I had to work out today at home. And I about passed out because I was so dizzy. I wasn't breathing, and I get so focused on the lifting, but forget form and breathing. And that's why working out with a trainer, it's like they can snap you right back into what you need to be focused on without, there's a lot to be paying attention to that we neglect and forget about.
Yeah.
Why don't we talk a little bit about how you grew up? Was exercise something that you guys saw on a regular basis, or is this, something you've discovered later in life? Or
My mother owned every single one of those Jane Fonda VHS. So
Same.
we did a lot of those. My parents both played racquetball. My dad more proficiently and for much longer than my mom did. But she at base was always walking. We used to take walks with my mom all the time around where I live now, which is funny because it's like we get to do the same thing again. I danced and ran cross country, but not seriously. I mean, a very casual cross country runner. And then in college, I was like, is partying a cardio? And then I sort of went in that way with my 20s, but I also still loved picking up on like yoga and Pilates, and I didn't do it with the kind of consistency I would have liked to in those years, but I'm trying to make up for it now in the later years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I grew up playing sports up through middle school. Like I played baseball. I was gonna be an NBA star.
I
is
could
what I was
see
gonna
that.
be. I had a
I'm surprised
basketball
you
in my
weren't.
hand,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I had a basketball with me at all times. I would shoot hoops at neighbors' houses that they didn't know I was there. They just heard the noise. Like, oh, Glenn must be out there practicing, because we lived in an apartment, so I didn't have a basketball.
Yeah.
But then when I got to be in 8th grade and I didn't get above like 5, 10, or 11, and I realized I'm not as good as I think I am. And then I moved into high school, and sports from then on just never was a priority in my life. Exercise was not. And for the longest time, I was thin. I was, I had a good metabolism, and then I turned 30 couple of years ago, and that's when things started going south. But I didn't, again, I would stop and start these little, because I'd get these moments of hitting some kind of a physical bottom, like I got to do something, I can't believe I have to buy these jeans now, and I'll go join a gym, and then I'd stop after 2 or 3 weeks. It just wouldn't, because I didn't know what I was doing.
Right.
And I felt stupid. And when you're not only that, when you don't know what you're doing and you do it wrong, you don't get the results.
Right. And you
And then
hurt
you're-
yourself,
Yeah,
and then
you
you
go
can't
too
recover the
hard.
same
Not
way.
motivating if you're not seeing something change.
Right.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
So I went from 15 until I was 55 without working out regularly. And so I'm coming up on 3 years of doing that. And I'm also in the best shape I've ever been in.
That's
Yeah. Thanks. And a lot of it is because of Burn30.
Well, how do you feel? I mean, it's one thing to just work out and maybe you see results with losing some weight or some muscle tone, but I see so many other benefits, but I'm curious what you guys have noticed.
For me, I mean, it's definitely, obviously, like my body, I feel like if I was not working out consistently, and I do eat well for the most part, but I think that definitely keeps me at a place where I'm happier and healthier. But the being strong part is really important to me because having a young kid, I mean, Bo still wants me to pick him up. He's like 4'3", and he still wants to octopus hug me. And I'm like, it's a good thing that I'm strong. But that's been a lot of my motivation too, is being there for him and that longevity piece too. Yeah. That is what probably interests me the most. But I feel really good. I think sometimes the mental aspect is even greater for me lately because life's just so busy, and I mean the news is heavy, and like it's it's a hard time, and I find that mental break, that that little escape into the gym to do that for a half an hour helps so much.
I can't believe I didn't make time for the gym before because I didn't think I had time for the gym. And now all of a sudden I magically do have time, and I can't imagine.
I try to tell Andy that all the time.
Right. I can't imagine not going.
We always say we're so busy.
But
then I think about how much time I spend scrolling on my phone or just spending it eating.
But the perk of the personal training though too is having that appointment, right? It's in my calendar, and I feel guilty if I cancel on Becky, even though she's cool about it. And obviously life happens, snow days, illness, yada yada, travel, and she's great about it. But I still am like, oh, I feel bad doing this, and that helps make sure that I keep going too.
Sure.
Yeah.
But I think if it's something that you want to do, you're going to make time for it. And I always hated being guilted before I started exercise. Oh, if you really want to do it, you can prioritize the time. Well, I think, well, that's true. But I think that's the point. You have to hit some kind of not bottom, but you have to hit some kind of a thing.
You have to want it
all
enough.
Of a sudden, the longevity thing comes. Whatever the motivation is, it's got to come from here. And once it does, nothing's going to keep you from doing it. And only the personal training will just help you make it easier.
Yeah. There's so many intimidation factors, I think, when you're walking into a gym, whether it's name any big box gym or even a smaller gym. I don't want to be look dumb. I don't want to look dumb. I don't know what that piece of equipment does. I don't want to look like the weakest guy in here. Yeah. I don't want to hurt myself. I remember going to the gym for the first time later after college, I would do weight room stuff and that sort of thing in high school and growing up, but going to the gym, I didn't know what any of this equipment did. So I'd just stay on the treadmill or the elliptical and feel like I'm doing something when I'm really not doing a whole heck of a lot that I couldn't do on my own somewhere else. But I was just so intimidated by everything else. Or I'd maybe walk around and do this thing over here and push my legs over here and then feel like I did something. But there was no rhyme or reason to, progressive overload or working different muscle groups and just no cohesiveness there. And so that for me, I started going to Burn30. It's over 10 years now, well before Alicia and I took over ownership, because my doctor said, you need to do something. I'm sending you here. It was almost a prescription to exercise. And it's been the best thing for me. But I'll be honest, for so much of that time, I didn't even take that as seriously as I could have. I still ate and did whatever I want, ate everything under the sun, paid no attention to the diet or anything. And so, you go in the gym for 30 minutes and feel like that's going to hold you for the week. It's kind of a...
When you find something consistent though, right? Yeah. That's the niche. Like, I think motivation or how I try to encourage folks is, find something that you enjoy and just keep doing it. Don't stop. I think those little consistencies, those little habits will build, and you continue to be like, all right, you know what I mean? If it's just anything, I just love that. I think Burn30 kind of meets that person where they're at, and that builds that consistency and the motivation. And some people just really need, again, put it in their schedule.
That's starting
as a reminder.
Point. Sure. Yeah. And I don't know how it was for you guys your first time walking into Burn30, but you've worked out other places too. I don't know if you even remember what that looked like. I know for me, the first time I went into that free trial, I was so out of shape. I told Becky, I think I'm going to throw up. And she said, well, have a seat. She was so calm and patient with me. She's like, just put your head down, breathe. Did you eat anything today? I said, yeah, I had my, whatever sugary cereal I'm sure I had that morning. And but she was so patient with me. And then got me through that first day and then got me through the next day and so on and so forth. So it was a motivation not to quit, because I probably would have quit had I experienced that level of exhaustion on my own and just been left to go. So,
well, I like going into Burn30, but I've never been in there where there was more than one other person working out. And I enjoy that. And I don't mind going to the gym now.
Yeah.
And just to speak to personal training again, I can go into any gym anywhere, no matter what they have, whether it's a cruddy, hotel gym or a big box gym in another town, and feel completely comfortable now.
Yeah.
And that's
I love that.
You got those building blocks now.
Yeah, I love that.
Yes, and I don't mind. I'll walk in and I'll walk around for 5 minutes and just walk around and be like, okay, what do they got? What do they have?
Yeah.
What am
I do?
Make a game plan.
That's great.
And that's because a lot of it is from Burn30, looking at all the different equipment that you guys have there and how much you can do with what you have.
Oh, yeah. That's great.
Improvise.
Yeah.
It's cool.
It's those building blocks too, which I didn't have before, that just like you said, Glenn, I travel a lot. When I go into a hotel gym that's completely different than what I'm used to. All right. There are a few workouts I know that Becky and Allison have put me through that I could easily replicate here and do it. Or if I let them know ahead of time, I'd be like, well, here's some things you can do. Or here's a freebie for everybody. Go on our Instagram.
Yeah.
And almost once a week, there's a whole new workout that Allison puts on there that you can do at home. There's ways to do these things, but it's that knowledge base. And I have a friend that just started at Burn30 too, and he's just doing once a week. And he knows once a week's not going to cure anything for him, but he wants to get his feet wet and get back into it. And then he has another gym he can go to that will, help him. He'll get that knowledge at Burn30 and be able to carry that on to this other gym that he goes to. So
I think it's a great, perfect thing to incorporate into whatever your fitness lifestyle, whatever it looks like, whether it's your only thing that you do 2 or 3 days a week, or if you're doing other stuff and you go once a week, it's so beneficial. I don't realize since October, I'm down like 20 pounds.
Oh,
not even really trying.
You look great. I was going to say,
Not even trying really hard.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Good job. Yeah.
Well, last thing I'm going to throw at you guys, are there any goals for 2025, whether fitness related or not? Since we're still in January here, I don't know when this will get released, but we're still in the beginning of the year. Anything that you have on your mind for this year?
I have been, so I love my 2 days a week at Burn30, and I used to walk a lot more. And the last 2 years, I had a client that made me extremely busy. And so I was like not having time to do as much of that. And I'm trying to be more thoughtful in my goal setting. So last year I was like, walk the dog outside every day. And then that never happens. So I'm, in addition to my 2 days at Burn30, I want to try to get outside with or without the dog, but 3 times a week. And I really miss yoga, and I would love to get back into that. And so with, walking 3 days a week and Burn30 twice, what is realistic, once a month. If I can get there once a month for 3 months, I'm going to buy myself some new yoga gear.
Way to go.
And then hopefully I feel like what will happen is I will get more into the groove and find that time to incorporate yoga. Or I keep wanting to go to the yoga Lattes that you guys host at Zero Day Yoga Pilates
yoga Fusion.
I love that.
Awesome.
I know I would love it.
It's so good. Feels so good. Stretches everything.
Yeah.
I want to try the Stretch 30.
The Stretch 30 is awesome
yeah.
too.
I haven't done that yet, so I want to do that. But my goal, I want to do a pull-up.
Nice.
Matt's been trying to get me to do a pull-up. But anyway, I would like to do at least one proper pull-up on my own.
You can do it.
I think
in my brain, I want to, but I don't
2025.
want to tell Becky that I want to do one.
Let's all do
She
pull-ups
will.
together.
I'm not ready. I'm not there yet.
I'm so close.
Are you?
Yeah. I
Tell
really
Allison
am.
to throw you up there once in a while when nobody else is in there.
Okay.
Like, you don't have to put
And
on a shirt.
I'm not sure if your other gym has those bands that you can use to help.
They don't have bands. They have the thing that you just climb up on. And
Okay.
it's the reverse. I
Because
forget the
those
negative
bands
weight or
are
whatever.
amazing. Yeah, I know
That's
what you're
how-
talking about though. Yeah.
So Becky would always
And I
put
feel
a
stupid getting on
band
that,
on
so I don't ever get on it.
Well, it's just you're among friends here.
Yeah. So I get it. Yeah.
I can only do a
Years.
banded pull up.
I just want
Only
to go up
banded.
to the thing with the handles
Yeah.
Yeah.
and jump up there, hang there, and pull myself up without freaking out and let myself go.
For
That's
me,
a goal.
it was the biggest thing to be able to do that was the weight loss. And now you said you're down. It gets easier and easier.
Less of me to pull up.
weight
Yeah.
going up. And I said to Becky this week, because she had me doing these pull-ups, I said, I will try them. I know there's a lot more weight since Christmas, so this is going to be a little harder than the last time. But we'll get there.
And I don't know, I might be able to do one.
You might be.
Yeah.
I
you'd be
haven't
surprised.
tried
Yeah.
for a long time.
Yes.
Yeah.
We'll see. I'll let you know.
Okay. Alicia, anything for you?
Well, I'm back on macro counting.
Yeah, we're both on counting our.
A little hungry
Macros.
right now, actually. No, it's good. It's all good. Got to get my protein in. I don't know, walking, like you said, Sarah, like it's hard to get those 8
I'm gonna
to
get a walking pad.
10K.
I've decided I'm gonna get a walking pad. They're like $125.
Lauren has one of those, so she likes it.
And there's a lot of
So
times
fair.
where like the day expired, I don't want to go walking in the woods at night, or
It's freezing
Yeah.
cold
or it's
outside.
freezing cold, and there's
freezing.
no way I'm going to do like today.
Yeah.
No,
Nope.
thank you.
Yeah.
But you know that I can do while I'm watching TV at the end of the night, or
Yeah.
while I'm taking a call during the day, which would be wonderful. So I'm going to do it. I'm going to get in the walking
No
pad.
brainer,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think for me, less screen time if I can do it.
Oh, yeah.
A little bit here and there,
for you,
but
man.
yeah, it's tough.
That is tough.
Having a job that revolves around it, but the problem is I'll do my work and then I'm still sitting on my phone. So that's a goal for me. Telling
Good luck.
in front of my wife, telling her she can waiting for that.
Telling the world.
Still on your phone. You're still
What do
on
I
your
do,
phone.
like,
Yeah.
Get off your phone.
Perfect. Well, thanks guys so much for joining us today. I really appreciate you guys not only doing this, but just all your support at Burn30, friendships. You guys are two just solid people that are very close friends, and really appreciate all you do for us. So,
Oh man,
yeah,
thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you
Anytime
so
I get
much.
to hang with Sarah and you guys is
Same.
just bonus.
Yeah,
I was looking
absolutely.
forward to this.
You make this easy. So.
Yes. Thank
All
you
right.
guys so much.
All right. Well, until next time.
All right.
I don't have a good catchphrase yet. We'll work on
Burn
that.
it up.
Burn it up.
Burn it up.
Until next time. All right. Thanks, guys. See ya.